everyone. It's Bob. Welcome back to Modern Life for the 70s Mind, and now Bob's Cabinet of Curiosities. If you watched me when I first started doing reaction videos, before I did the reaction video, I would do a small 2-3 minute segment on Bob's Cabinet of Curiosities. I collect a lot of old vinyl record stuff and music related stuff, and I would just pull one out of my pile that I got, and it's a pile, and I would talk about it for a couple minutes. That was fun, but the only problem is people were getting confused because they were coming to see a reaction video, and I was talking about some old thing. So I split off the Cabinet of Curiosities with every intention to just kind of split them up, and I just never stayed up on top of it. Well, a few people have been emailing me saying that they really miss it, so I'm going to try to get this going again. My plan, and it may get a little tough around the holidays, so I get so busy with work, but my plan is Wednesdays to be Cabinet of Curiosities days. So if you're looking for a new Cabinet of Curiosities item, Wednesdays will be the day that you're going to want to check out my website and see if there's one available. Today, I'm going to be talking about Dinkers and vinyl breakouts. Now, this is not a real easy subject to explain, so if I start stuttering and all that, just bear with me. I'll do my best to make this really, really simple. So first off, here's a record. This is actually an Emily Kinney record. I don't know if you know her. If you watched The Walking Dead early on, because I think the show fell apart later, but she was on the show, but she was also a singer, and I got like a signed 45 from her. But I wanted to show you this because you can see what the 45s look like. This 45 has a small hole. Okay, they would fit like on a normal turntable. When 45s first came out, the singles, they were originally made with the large center that a lot of you are familiar with. The problem was jukeboxes required the bigger hole. And when they started manufacturing these, that became a problem, because what if you wanted to play this record on a jukebox? You'd have a problem. So thus created the Dinker. And this is a Dinker here. It's basically a crank, if you will, because you turn it, and it's got a little knife blade on it. And what you do, if you wanted to use this record, and I don't want to cut this record, but you would take the end here and stick it in the hole right there of the 45, and then you got that blade, and you would just start spinning this around the record. And if you spin it enough, it would eventually cut through the record, and you'd end up with something like this, a small little cutout piece. People would throw these away. I'm a strange guy. I collect them. and if you buy my record adapter book, you'll see that I talk about these a lot. So basically what happens is you got something like this originally, and then by the time you took it out, you'd end up with that. And then any record could then be played on the jukeboxes. So that's kind of the reason this all started. I actually collected them. And what was interesting was the record industry finally caught on that people are trying to break out these centers, and there was no way to take them out unless you had a Dinker. So they got a little smart, and they came up with what was called an OC45. And I'll have pictures up here so you can see them closer, but this is an OC45, and I'll show you it in this record. It would, when you bought the record, it would actually have the centerpiece in it. And then if you really wanted to break it out, you could break that center out. You could never put it back again, but you could take it out and you could convert the record to the larger 1.5-inch hole. So this is called a vinyl breakout. So this was attached to the record at 3 points. And this, like I said, was the original one. And then they started making a bunch with 3 points in all different shapes. Again, I'll have a picture up here, and you'll be able to see examples of some of the other ones. There were also 4-point, they were called pins or points, 4-pin or 4-point adapters. And those were like here. And I'll show you another one here, square. These attached to the vinyl record at 4 points. Again, you could break them out, and then you would throw them away, and then you would have the big hole. So, like, again, most people threw these out. I'm the weird one, and I saved them. And there were 2 other variations of this. I don't have them with me, but I will show them up here. One was made in Germany. And what this was, it was basically a record with a die cut in it. And they would put a plastic piece almost melted in. And like if you look at it here, you'll see it. It's like melted into the record. If you really wanted to take that out, you could. It just seems like it would have been easier just to die cut it and stamp it and punch the little pieces out, but they decided to basically plastic solder the adapter into the center, which is a little strange. Now, as I've said, none of these, once you took out, you could put back in, except for this one. This one is called the Jigsaw. The Jigsaw had square. It was a 4-point, 4-pin adapter that was had square cuts around it. So if you pop that out, you could actually put that one back because it was cut into the vinyl itself. And if you look at this, you can see that if you can imagine popping that center out, you could actually put it right back in. So those were really interesting. I think they were made for like 1 or 2 years in the 50s, I think, and very rare. If you ever find one, hold on to it because they're pretty hard to find. And I was lucky to find a couple of them only because I really searched hard for them. So that was it. That was the reason that records had these removable centers, basically because of jukeboxes. And I just found it really interesting. So I started collecting these things. I don't know if you guys can see this one again. This is a quiz for all you music people out there. Do you know what band this was cut out of the record of? I would know this because I used to collect a lot of records from this band. So if you can identify that, if you collected 45s when you were younger, put in the comments who do you think this record, what band this record center came out of. So, okay, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed that. It's really a tough thing to try to explain all this. Other things will be easier. But I just wanted to do this and get things going so I could have one out for this Wednesday. Okay, guys, thank you so much. I'll talk to you next time. Peace out. Bye-bye.